What it do, y'all? It's your boy. Pretty excited to talk about this documentary that I just looked at like probably a week or two ago. The Kurt Angle documentary. I was a big fan of Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar when they had their run in WWE and when Kurt had his run in TNA. But it just reviewed the documentary. I wanted to start off by just saying, I really respect this guy and everything he did in his life. So starting off from the beginning. I think he grew up with five siblings, 4 or 5 siblings. He had a sister and like 3 or 4 brothers. All of them, he was real close with his sister, but all of them loved sports, and his dad did too. So really, Kurt Angle's first love was football. He didn't even like his daddy didn't even get him into wrestling till later on. But yeah, he got into football. He played, and I think he ended up like winning like during his high school run. He ended up doing something that was never done, and they ended up winning a whole game, a championship game, I believe. And by the time that was over, Kurt started. His daddy made him, wrestle. Like he put him and his brothers in wrestling. But Kurt was the one who excelled in wrestling. And I forget which one it was. I think it was a Fox school or something like that he went to. But after that, I believe his dad ended up. Let's see, he was in the. His dad was a construction worker. So and his daddy did a lot of drinking. And his daddy ended up passing away, which brought him to the Olympics in the first place. He worked hard. And he ended up beating a guy that a lot of people, like a lot of rookies, don't beat. Um, and Kurt Angle's method when he was coming up, well, he did this thing called exhaust training, where he would just train till he exhausted, and after he's even exhausted, he would keep going, and that was his method for winning. Cause he ended up getting his neck broke 4 times, and if you watch the documentary and you pay close attention to the video, you can tell when that guy flipped him, like he did break his neck. So what's interesting is about the tournament he was in. Like Kurt had one of the best coaches in the nation, for in Pittsburgh, but and I believe his coach ended up dying as well. So when he won that Olympic gold medal, he dedicated that to his coach and his dad. So and he was just saying he wanted to just go to the Olympics. Like that was his goal in life. He didn't even know like where he was gonna end up after that. So moving on, when he broke his neck, um, keep in mind it's like you have to compete in 4 tournaments before you even get to the Olympics. Like I think Kurt he jumped through the ranks, and they was trying to tell Kurt since his neck was broke he didn't need to continue with the match. So I think the medical doctor ended up treating him and giving him a shot or something like that, and he didn't get a shot. He had treatment done on it, and he went back out there and wrestled again. Like the integrity of this dude was just insane, just out of this world. So after that, he ended up beating the guy because he was like he didn't want to start over because like I just told y'all, it's 4 tournaments before you even get to the big leagues. Like you got to win 4 tournaments. So like these one no these one like no suckers. Like these dudes train hard. Like these were no rookies that he had to go through to win that Olympic gold medal. And a lot of people don't take his gold medal win seriously. But if you look at this documentary, you will find a whole new respect for this guy and what he had to do and what he went through just to get to that point. So moving on, he he ended up using his exhaust training techniques that he would use to just completely exhaust the guy. The dude was so tired that he wrestled. The dude couldn't even continue with the match, and Kurt ended up beating him, and that's what ended up. That's how his journey began. But in the interview, they asked him, if Vince McMahon offers you a contract to wrestle in the WWE, would you accept it? And he at first he was like, no, because it's not real wrestling. Same thing Brock said. He was like, it's not real wrestling, but when he didn't know what to do with his life. So when he was offered that opportunity, he went and took it. And if you listen to a lot of Kurt Angle interviews, he said he caught on. A lot of wrestlers that was talking about him and his documentary said he caught on faster than any other wrestler to ever do it. Even Brock didn't catch on that fast. And he only was going on the road. He maybe had 4 matches a month, and he still caught on to that. Now, people wrestling 365 days a year. So it's tough. That whole lifestyle itself is tough. And this dude caught on in a matter of no time. He was learning as he was going. So he tried it out, and Kurt was saying like some of these dudes were some of the toughest dudes. Like they was in some of the toughest condition he had ever seen. And so after the rest is really just history. Like after that, Kurt ended up breaking his neck again. Like he broke his neck 3 more times. Brock Lesnar broke his neck twice. I think it was at WrestleMania when he hit him with a chair and he ended up swinging it the wrong way. And when he wrestled Randy Orton at Extreme Rules, it may have been '06 or something like that he broke his neck again. This time they gave him some shots. And I'm about to get into his drug addiction right now because Kurt had a big drug addiction that possibly could have killed him because he had 3 kids at the moment, and I think he had one more probably towards the end, not the end of his career, but probably going into TNA, he probably had one more child. And if you look at some of these recordings, man, his wife was recording him. She was saying she couldn't take him no more. And he ended up. Nah, let me go back before that. He ended up taking painkillers for his neck injury. Now, first it was painkillers. Now, let's not forget that he was drinking with this as well. Like once you add the liquor to it, it's even worse than the pills itself. Once you add alcohol into the mix, and Vince McMahon told him he was like, man, if you don't stop these drugs, it's either he gave him an ultimatum. He said either you gonna stop the drugs or you have to leave the company, Kurt, or I'm gonna suspend you. So Kurt ended up leaving the company, and that's what led him to TNA, which that's when he started adding the alcohol with the pills. Man, this dude Kurt Angle had almost 4 plugs. Like he had a plug in Mexico, a lot in America. Like this dude said he was spending almost $3,000 a week on pills. Like, cause he had an addiction. He spent all that money on pills. Like, man, it was just crazy. And his sister ended up passing away. Cause he gave his sister an ultimatum first. He said, if you don't stop these drugs, cause he was just sending his sister money for her to get high or whatever she was doing. He gave an ultimatum. He was telling her, which happened to him as well. He was telling her, if you don't stop these drugs, I'm not gonna talk to you no more. Cause to get her, like he offered her rehab. I think she came home and tried rehab for a little while, and it still didn't work. Which rehab don't always work for people all the time. Like to get off drugs, you gotta want to get off of it. It's gotta be your choice. You have to make the decision. Nobody can make that decision for you. So his sister ended up overdosing and passing away, and that was a big hit for him in his career because he didn't want to keep going. It just tore him up because they were so close, and he was crying, just saying he just wanted to talk to her. He never called her before she passed away. So just think about the regret, and he was holding a grudge against her, and he just didn't know how to deal with it and come to terms with it, which ended up leading to her passing, which wasn't his fault, but we lose a lot. Everybody lose loved ones in life that they wish they could have did things differently, but it just don't work like that all the time. So moving on with his TNA run, he started adding liquor to drink up to taking the pills. And man, I think Kurt almost overdosed himself one time. And in the videos when he had his kids, like you just see, he was just laying down, like he didn't even really care about life. And his wife was telling him Happy New Year. He was like, I'm not even gonna make it to the New Year. He's like, I know I'm not gonna make it. So really, he just thanked his wife during his Hall of Fame ceremony. He was saying she stuck by him. She just had his back, and eventually he got off the drugs. He started doing better. If you look at Kurt's neck, you could tell something was just like it's kind of stiff and it's kind of big, like really really swole. And there was a possibility that he ended up almost paralyzed because of it. But the doctor ended up shooting him with this needle, and he ended up kept wrestling and doing matches to the point where he had to retire because he couldn't keep going. But Kurt Angle accomplished a lot in his career, like WWE champion, whatever championship he wanted to win, he won it. Like that was just true drive that this guy had, integrity, intelligence, just the will to win and be something in life, which all of us should strive to be. But I didn't want to make the video too long. I just wanted to review, the documentary, which y'all definitely should check it out and watch it for all the wrestling fans out there. Or if you're not a wrestling fan, it's just a good story in general to look at and want to be a part of, and just have empathy for what this guy went through. So this your boy, y'all. I'm out. Subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 1,500K, man. Let's go.